And so this is a massive incursion on humanity.
I really started it as a joke.
You know, it's really easy when you know nothing.
I'm Richard Gearhart.
And I'm Elizabeth Gearhart. You just heard some snippets from our show. Are you thinking of starting a new business? Stay tuned. Now it's time for Secrets of the Entrepreneurial Mind. So Mark Weinstein, author of Restoring Our Sanity Online. Do you have a secret you can share?
The secret is really, first of all, everybody has a good idea. So if you have a good idea, you're not unique, okay? Because almost everybody I've ever met in my life has a good idea. You know, it's just what happens. We think of something, oh, wow, wouldn't it be great if, or wow, here's a good idea. Turning that idea into reality is magic. It's where the rubber meets the road. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life. But here's the key. If you decide to take your good idea or somebody else's good idea, whatever, wherever you get it, and turn it into reality, and you believe that you're right, then it really is a good idea, and there really is a marketplace for it. And also that it has some sort of ethical grounding so you can really feel good about it. I always like that piece. Just make sure you feel good about it. It doesn't have to be ethical. I mean, look, ethical, like, doesn't it, you don't have to be a do-gooder, but make sure, you're actually providing value, a service or a product. Don't stop. Here's the thing. So many people are going to tell you, you can't do it. Here's why, you don't know how to do it, whatever it is. It's wrong, it's bad, whatever it is. As long as you believe, go for it and keep believing and stay positive. And if it's your best friend or your mother or whoever it is or your partner, even if they're naysayers, if you believe, stay the course and do your best to surround yourself with people who also believe or nurture and support, give you positive reinforcement. Now, when you stop believing, then stop doing it. So that's also important. Don't be so invested in your ego that, oh, I can't stop because people or the world, everybody's going to look at me like, no. The smartest thing you can do when you stop believing, if you stop believing, is to stop, because that clears the space for something else to come in, and everything you've learned will be of value.
Thank you. That was great. Gary Cohen with co2coaching.com. What secret would you like to share?
I don't know that it's a secret, but it's something that I've learned along the way that I share with all my clients, which is leaders need to walk the ridge line. And on one side of that ridge line is humility. Okay. And too much humility doesn't work if you're leading. Okay. But the opposite side is ego. And too much ego, nobody wants to follow you. And so the trick, and it is a trick, is to stay the ridge line. Because when things are really not going well, you want to stay in that humble place. You're never going to get the teams to come along with you and be engaged. And when things are really working well, and I've seen it in way too many people, including myself, when it's just like you're just kicking it, your ego takes over. I can do no wrong. And that's usually when all the wrong begins. For me as a coach, I am constantly working with my clients to stay on the ridge line. And this is how it shows up. When the ego shows up, I become stupid as the coach. And what I have to say, I'm a lifelong learner. So I know more today than I did yesterday. Okay. Because I just keep devouring more information. So how is it that I became stupid overnight with this client? Right? It's because their ego took over. And I have to tell them this before it happens, because otherwise they don't listen. So early on in the coaching, I say, this is going to happen eventually. And I want you to know what's happening to you, because you will not want to hear anybody when the ego takes over. Right. So it's kind of staying in that balanced place of just knowing you're enough, not too much, not too little, enough.
That is great advice. Again, I get so much out of this show myself. I love doing it. Okay.
I'm feeling inspired.
Okay. Tim Nealon, GoCityTours.com. What is a piece of advice, a secret you can share?
I don't know that there's too many secrets anymore. I mean, with AI and everything else, you want to find out. But I do think, if there is a secret that might not always be apparent to first-time entrepreneurs, and I hate to, borrow part of your other you other guys, your answers as well. It's just, it's developing the right mindset. You know, I see a lot of these younger kids coming into the entrepreneurial business space, and they have this idea that, you know, it's going to be easy, and people will give them things, and, you know, everybody will tell you how great you are. And when that doesn't happen, they feel, you know, beaten. And that's really sad, because the reality is any of them could do it. I mean, if I could do this, you guys could do it. Come on. You know, I think the secret is developing the proper mindset where, you know, you can be a proper business owner and handle the challenges that are going to come your way, because you are going to have days where you want to quit. You are going to have days where you feel like a failure. And you're also going to have days where you feel on top of the world. And if, you know, to go back to what was just previously said, if you live in either one of those zones, you know, it's not good for you. So, you know, if there was a secret, I think it would just be developing that proper mindset that sets you up for success, you know, long-term success, not necessarily success today and not necessarily failure today. Work on who you are as a person and be comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's
really
great
it.
advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Gearhart, Gearhart Law, patents, trademarks, copyrights.
Oh.
What is your secret?
Well, I'm just going to kind of tap into what everybody else has said here. I think you want to cultivate a mindset of decisiveness and continuous action, right? You need to keep the energy level high. And I find lots of times when I'm down in the dumps, I'm not feeling my best. Lots of times it's because I've been putting off decisions that I need to make. So it's not always the best time to make decisions when you're down in the dumps. But if you can make a few small ones, I feel like sometimes that helps me get my momentum back. And then gradually I can climb out of those doldrums and get back to an efficient level of operating. No matter what, staying busy and keeping yourself in it also has benefits, because it's hard to have negative feelings if you're focusing on getting the next task done. So I find those kinds of things to be the best for self-regulation.
And my secret, Elizabeth Gearhart, Gear Media Studios. I feel like if I've been successful in anything, and some ways I have, I constantly want to learn more, and I'll never feel like I know it all. I understand now, like these vampire movies, why these vampires, when they live centuries, they get so rich, because you get to learn so much and do stuff with it. And I just feel like there's so much more I want to learn. I just, I don't know.
You know, there are a lot of rich vampires out there, now that you mention it.
I know at least 4.
So, I feel like for me, it's just been this thirst for learning new things and knowledge. And it really, like with this AI stuff, it's really helped me a lot, because I've been able to do things so much faster.
Yeah, absolutely.